So we will. The subject has been presented to you. We will not spend more time about it, but the aim of this intervention this afternoon is not to give, I will say, an academic lesson, but just to an inspirations and maybe also idea to transform in your own business. So just as a reminder, we will not spend a lot of time on that, but if we try to understand what is digital and what is artificial intelligence. Digital is coming from the Latin words digitus. Digitus is a finger, basically speaking. And it has been treated in two different ways. The first one, it's digitus became digit in terms of numeric system. So one is one digit, two each digit is cumulated. And the second one is all the things controlled or directed by the finger. So basically speaking, we can say, okay, digital is all the dematerialized actions and activities. The second one, if we try to understand what is artificial intelligence, in fact, artificial is all the things not coming from human activity or human reflections. So it's easy to understand. The second one is intelligence. Intelligence is a little bit more complex definition, or you have four, in fact, inputs inside. You have what we call the perceptions of the things, the capture of the things. The second one is the understanding of the things via language, coding system, etc. The first one is the processing, what you will do with the data. Okay? And the last one is the restitutions of this data. Okay? In fact, when we take a look a little bit more in detail, it's not so easy to understand what is digital, what is artificial intelligence. And in many times, in fact, we confuse each of them. In fact, artificial intelligence has a characteristic to be fast and more speeding than digital. It requests, it permits to have a more large access, wide and deep in terms of mining. The transcoding and format is not so strict as it is with the digital coding systems. You can use multi-coding system. And it's not, with digital, you are in a deductive logic. So this data plus this data, you have one algorithm, so you have this action or this message or this image or this sound. With the artificial intelligence, it's a little bit more complex because artificial intelligence will have a self-learning process and will generate without just deduction system, but via a generative model. I try to represent really simply what is for us the digital and artificial intelligence. And as you can see, in fact, the core is the data. Core means mining, so to dig, to find the information, to collect and select it. Okay? The second one is organization of all those data. Okay? Classification and organizations. After you have the management of the access to this data, who, when, what, with a selective system, who is really the fundamental database you will use for digital or for artificial intelligence operation. In fact, if you look on these dimensions or in these directions, you have more the digital approach. You have all the analysis, so understand and apprehension of object or behavior, okay? So it's more deductive system. You have a certain number of data giving a certain number of profile, and you deduct that you have such action. Here, you have also all the things regarding automations. For the people who were present to the previous speech, I don't need to give you more detail. Automatization is just an action based on instructions or a signal for automation and robotizations. If we go on these directions, this line, we are more in the artificial intelligence domain, based on the fact that, in fact, intelligence with modeling and develop a self-learning system who will use data created by itself and not mining as such. Same thing here, generation of contents. So everybody talk about ChatGPT today, and ChatGPT is really a good, I will say, and visible transcriptions of what is artificial intelligence. ChatGPT can create, and other model system can create image, can create sound, can create text, can create also codes. Okay? So basically, digital and artificial intelligence is based and can be summarized on this kind of draw. Oh, I go a little bit fast. So, when we talk about artificial intelligence, you have people promoting artificial intelligence and people who are fully reluctant to the artificial intelligence. What are the main motivations to promote or to integrate in a business or in a global society artificial intelligence? You have many, many small items. I will just take the most important one. First, it permits to have a more relevant output. You can have more personalized action, analysis, decisions, and not global one based on a global model. Second, segmentation is directly one of the transcriptions. And also scalable and self-learning systems, so you don't have to generate all the information and to put it in the system. The system is able to generate himself also some data in order to create his own model. Second thing, you increase the reliability. You have more source than what you can use with an old system or by hand or by a computer system, quantitatively and qualitatively. So you can have a wider source of for mining, and also you can go deeper in those sources. So you integrate much more data. So you have more fast diagnostic or reactions. Automations can permit to reduce penability in terms of repetitive actions. For example, interactivity, you can integrate more people, more data in order to take decisions. You can also securize financial transactions. Often, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we ask the people, okay, which business integrate, according to you, the main tools in artificial intelligence? Somebody has an idea? Which domain, which professional sector? Of course, nobody will answer, but I can say to you the most common answer is bank, finance, it's these kind of things, so mainly service. In fact, it's agriculture, for your informations, who in the 20 last year integrate the main, the biggest quantity of artificial intelligence development and tools for meteorologic, soil analyze, etc. So traceability and history of action, of course, when we talk about traceability, when we talk about blockchain, if you don't have a big capacity of data collections and agglomerations and also generations, you cannot work in a proper way. You reduce the dependency to specialists and experts, okay, in terms of accessibility and cost. Aggregators, you have many companies who are aggregating data. So what is news on TV or news in a newspaper is just some people who will aggregate a certain number of inputs, okay, and generate, okay, text or image or whatever. Okay, same thing when we talk about the big international data provider, Mintel and other people, they are aggregator, and these tools can be really useful for them, and even some people think replace them. Data coding and structuring, it's what I say to you, artificial intelligence is not generating speech, voice, image, or sound, it's also generating coding, analyze, etc. Competitiveness could be improved, so the promoter say, okay, don't miss or don't avoid such kind of technology because it's a way to be more competitive with the access to the resources, better and faster deliverable and technologies. You increase the knowledge and the know-how globally. You can store and access to a big quantity of information. You can generate, you can create also. You don't only duplicate or cross some different information to do something. You can generate something who is, I will not say totally out of the inputs, but far away from what we were able to do in the past. It reduces the penability for the repetitive task, intellectual or physical, couple in connection with an automate. or reduce also the penability of all the tasks requesting high level of concentrations. Okay, when you are working, for example, for air traffic controls, okay, you cannot work 5-6 hours long. There is no way. So if you are not assisted by a tool who can reduce your intensity of attentions, it's really difficult. It increases productivity, higher deliverable to ISO, same equal resources, or reduce the resources to deliver the same things. So I will not spend more time. You can read it anyway. You can get the presentations easily. So I said to you, you have promoters for artificial intelligence, but in front of those promoters, you have people totally reluctant regarding artificial intelligence, or everybody globally is totally in favor of artificial intelligence when we are talking in general. When it's integrating his own job or his daily life, they are more reluctant. You will see. So who are the people and what is the main argument to take distance to the artificial intelligence? First, we have absolutely no experience, so we don't know where we go in terms of politics and economic impacts. We don't know what it will create. For sure, some domain will have a kind of Uberizations, you know. It will be a period before, period after, and it will not change only the tools, but probably some jobs, some way of working, some way of doing, etc. So in terms of security, okay, if somebody introduces the system, he can do whatever he wants. It will be really difficult to avoid it. In terms of influence, who is behind all the information generated by ChatGPT? Do you really think that ChatGPT is a fully, I will say, objective and exhaustive model? No. Clearly, in ChatGPT, for example, there is a certain number of points limiting his action or his communications and transcriptions. Okay, religious things, etc. Try to ask to ChatGPT how to create a specific bomb. You will see that he will not answer to your questions because he has his own self-limitations. But he didn't self-limit himself. It has been given as an instruction. In terms of employment, what can be the consequence? Some people say there is more than 125 million of jobs who should disappear in the coming years by the use of artificial intelligence or integration in the actual business model. Taxation, it's always the same system when we talk about Amazon or all these big companies, how to tax them and where. So nothing is planned for that. And business model in terms of publicity, traffic, management, it can generate also some difficulties. Liability, conclusion actions. So you are driving a car with artificial intelligence. In case of crash, who is responsible? The guy who did the programmation, the owner of the car, the maker of the car, yourself, because you are in and you rent it during this period. So nothing is prepared, or nothing today is managing such kind of action and consequence. Error in terms of identity, in terms of judgment. Okay, suddenly there is you are looking, or you have your twins that you don't know somewhere in the world, is identified, it's connected to your identity. It's not easy to manage. It's not easy to manage in terms of responsibility, in legal aspect, but also in terms of corrections, how to correct these kind of things, which access I can have, etc. It's not so easy. Usability, unusability and regulations, so to access content, property, taxation, right rectifications, exactly what we were talking just now. Data ownership, who is the owner of the generated data? All the people who contribute to put things used as a source during the mining process, yourself, the owner of the model, who is the owner of the deliverable. So basically it means we are in a world where we are not integrating such kind of artificial intelligence, and the regulation system and many other things are not ready now, just now. And some people say, okay, put a break, go slow down, So some of them are really objective because they think about that. Some others, they are not ready, technically speaking, and they prefer to stop all the business in order to recover to win time, to develop, and to be ready when the system will restart. So resource intensive, so we have to keep in mind that it's extremely resource intensive, the artificial intelligence, especially for the self-generations, and because in fact it's requesting a lot of calculation power, it means a lot of energy behind, for sure, to calculate and to cool also to cool down all the system. And also keep in mind that such kind of technology is using big quantity of rare metals. And that actually a way of big tension at worldwide levels. Equity access, so in terms of population, in terms of country, in terms of student and collaborator, who will have the access, who will have the right to use artificial intelligence in order to boost his performance or not. Malicious takeover, of course, data source, if somebody wants to use your mind and your data collections for his own interest, who is not the original one and access has been deviated. Usurpation or appropriations of identity. You saw on TV, probably in the last month, some avatar of some really, really important people talking exactly with the same voice, but it's not at all the guy who has been speaking and communicating on such support. So ransom, neutralization, fake informations, I think you know that well. Keep in mind that the people who say, oh no, artificial intelligence, we should do a break, go more slow, etc., don't think it's only extra conservators, okay? In the biggest petitions and actions at a worldwide level, it's probably the double today. Huh? You have people that probably you know, Elon Musk is inside, Wozniak is inside, so you have people who know. Okay, it's not people who are just afraid by the move, afraid by changing things, etc. No, there is people who are in. It's okay. So some of them, I will say, ask for a break because they are not ready, and some other because they know what could be the conclusions and why the environment is not ready to go too fast in such kind of technology integrations. I will not spend time on this slide because it's just to remember you that, in fact, even if we are at the really, really beginning of the artificial intelligence is today in our life. Today in our life, and it's going extremely fast. There is a reason why the American actors was in strike, and some of them are still in strike today, because they know that for the translations, you don't need translator today, in fact. Part of the artificial intelligence is able to do it, okay? When you have to retouch a visage or an action, etc., artificial intelligence is able today, and it will be more performant tomorrow, to reconstitute the actions without the actor. So the physics is fully dematerialized. Science also for the diagnostic, okay? And many X-ray actually diagnostic is assisted by artificial intelligence. Okay, recombination in terms of genetics, of course. In terms of market, personalized aggregation and studies in finance, in marketing, etc. Artificial intelligence can boost, for sure, can help also, but can sometimes replace also. So same thing in productions, okay, the famous golden batch, maintenance for the diagnostic, analysis of the source of the incident, and the proposed solutions. Go around here, especially in A1, 2, 3, and you will see that it's today a reality. It's the beginning of a reality, but it's existing. It's not just a dream and a mediatic fashion. Finance, of course, and cybersecurity, analysis of price and market and fluctuations for sure. Service, okay, I will not go too deep in detail, but anyway, the people who want these presentations can get it. But keep in mind that, in fact, we are not talking about the future. We are talking about today, even if we are just at the beginning of a long way. So in our business, for example, we are integrating 3 types of digital and artificial intelligence assistants. The first is what we call cobot. Cobot, it's not new. Huh? It's more than 15, 20 years that we are talking about cobot. It's just the action of an automat in parallel or in, not parallel, in connections with human action. Centaur is just the assistance, digital or artificial intelligence assistance to a human actions. Okay, it came from Kasparov when he lost in front of Deep Blue. And at the beginning he said, okay, I will never lose. He lost. After he think I will never win anymore. And after he said, no, in fact, this kind of assistant is really performing and assisting the driver, the guy who is behind the actions. So increased reality, I was surprised. I don't saw so much increased reality this year on this fair, but increased reality is really taking more and more place in terms of maintenance, in terms of architecture also, in terms of, there is many things where we use it. Télémentorage, I know it's existing, I'm not using it, I never use it, and we didn't integrate it in our business today. It's just the fact to have one guy far away from the actions who can pilot, in fact, with digital system and sometimes with the assistance of artificial intelligence. Now we will talk about integration of digital and artificial intelligence in bakery. So in fact, if you are ready to do, I estimate around 18 kilometers in the fair, you will find more or less all the things that I will mention here. Here you will have, I will say, a kind of a resume or a kind of concentrations. So in terms of mining, mining is commonly used via the loyalty programs. You know, you have customer who has card, and in fact, each time they are buying something or each time they are entering in a shop, in fact, they are unconsciously giving their identity. You have connection between which day we are, what they are buying, and sometimes, I don't know if you have this feeling, but each time you are doing shopping, the girl or the guy in front of you say, and with that, what more? Okay? Sometimes the loyalty program say, okay, based on the attractivity of this guy or his usage, I will directly say, okay, today I give you also a pain au chocolat. And the guy says, oh, they know that. But they know that because or you have a camera or you have a loyalty program, and in fact you decline all the information on you. Okay? Access management, you have more and more recipe or instructions, okay, online. Today, recipe or many data was a private and part of your power, part of your authority. Today, main part of the data are available. It's extremely rare that some data are not accessible. In terms of data structurations, okay, recipe database with possible multifactorial extraction. It's a little bit like at home. Huh? You have a fridge and you say, okay, I have butter, I have this type of meat, I have these vegetables, and the artificial intelligence just gives you the recipe of what you can do with tonight. Okay? If you have that, so you can do that. How long time you have? 15 minutes. 15 minutes, you will do not one pot of feu, but you will do something. Okay? It's exactly the same thing here. Okay, I have such kind of raw materials. Okay, he can generate himself some recipe. Okay. Online catalog, of course. Before it was really difficult. Now it's really common to flash. Okay, and you can have online catalogs, and according you have multifactorial or selections that you can use in order to go directly where you want to go without having to switch 20 page to say, okay, no, you go directly through the informations you want to use. Okay, interactivity, stock status. There is some people presenting some presenter of products. You have all your products and you have a camera. And online, you know what you still have in your showcase for the customers, what you still have in your stock, and it can generate instructions for productions. And it's existing. It's just in A2, I think. Platform for pooling resources. Sometimes you have a lack of human resources, equipment, etc. There is platform who say, okay, this bakery or this player can directly or cannot, I will say, be a backup for part or totality of your lacking resources. So that is for the data. If we go a little bit deeper with the analysis, what is existing today? Personalized product, recipe, printing, etc. It's the famous Subway, okay, I give you sandwiches, what do you want to put in? Now it's really easy to have, I will say, a 100% personalized product. I would like to have this type of bread, but I don't want to have salt or really low salt, or I would like to have such or such things. You can personalize, and the additional cost to personalize is not as crazy as it was before. Online translations, identification and support of influencer. What is worse than to have a really bad opinion regarding your business, your products, or whatever on the web, going really extra fast, especially if you have beautiful pictures showing one default everywhere. So for the positive influence or negative influence, today it's really easy to identify where it's coming from, who has generated it, if he has generated similar posts or similar positions for other products, if it's the first time he's attacking you or not, and also identify influencers who can be your promoters, of course. Customer identifications, identification of the golden customer with personalizations of the offer, identification of employee retention factor. One of the big, it's the first time in, it's 30 years I'm working in the baking business, it's the first time in the 2-3 last years that I saw bakery closing due to the lack of employee. It's really crazy, but now usually you have difficult financial situations, you have problem with the competition, whatever, but today you can have really serious problem and you have to sell or to stop your business due to the lack of human resources. You can, in many bakeries, and it's also in AA2 or AA3, you can have an analysis of your profitability by SKU, and not only by line or family of products or globally on your business. So that is also something that can be interesting. In terms of optimization, so personalization, but also optimization. Optimizations support for interactivity and planifications, in fact. It's mainly used for planification and supply chain, in fact, actually, artificial intelligence. Based on what you have in stock, what is the usual demand, what are your resources, and based on that, it can assist you as a cobot, as a centaur, as we were saying before, to generate or to optimize your planning, or he can generate it himself, a pre-planning that you valid or you invalid, and you can fine-tune. Okay? So supply chain also commonly used for the delivery, for the routes. Okay? Before we were saying, okay, you will go here. After we say, okay, no, it's not, maybe not optimized. We can optimize it with digital system. Today, you can even integrate the online traffic. Okay? So the guy starts the truck with all the products behind. Okay? He knows he has to go somewhere, but suddenly the usage, the common usage is not online with the instructions he will get. And the instructions will be, today there is a big traffic in this area, so please deliver this customer before we will inform him. Okay? Of course, comparison between one period and one other period. You can have more or less day by day or hour by hour online. What is your sales or what is your production versus the day before, the week before, the month before, or the year before. The similar shop or production center, other line, etc. So you can have online information and sometimes assistance to analyze deviations. So you have the data plus the deviation and sometimes an alarm, okay? And also sometimes the origin and proposal of action, okay? You can see that in C2 or C3 on big industrial line, I think. I saw that this morning. Well, the rest you can read it by yourself. In terms of generations, okay, generation we have 3 dimensions: optimization, anticipations, communication, and also creativity. Optimizations, planning, we talked about it before. Smart route, we just talked about it now. Modular price, that is something I was really surprised when I discovered that. There is some big shop who they are modulating the price in the same day according to the variation of stock and demand. Okay? It's typically a European concept to say, okay, I have this production cost, I have this margin, I have this charge and tax, etc. So my price will be this one and will be fixed for the week or for, I would say, medium or long period. In some shop I visited, they modulate the price according to what they have in stock, ready to sell, what is the demand and provisional demand for the end of the day. And based on that, they can or increase or decrease the price, and it's a modulated price. That is something I was not knowing before, and I was surprised. That's the reason why I wanted to share it with you. Okay? So prevention maintenance plan, it's really well known. Virtual factory and layout. Now, when you want to build a new bakery or industrial lines, etc., the guy will take the inputs in terms of hard infrastructure. Okay, and he will say, okay, my line will go here, here. You have just a virtual mask, and basically you can turn whenever you want, and you see what will be the future line, passage, etc. without having to do a maquette or without having to do many draw. Okay. In terms of communication, so social media presence, like management, etc. We talk about it. Active geolocalizations. I saw that also. Some identify customers who accept when they are reaching or going close to the traditional bakery, they receive a message, oh, this price for you, exceptional price, let's sales, etc. And in fact, you receive a push by identification of your geolocalizations, okay, based on the fact you have the product in stock or not, and you can adjust a kind of promotion in order to sell or to attract or to recompense this guy. Okay. Creativity. You can create also interaction panels. So it's always difficult when you create a new product to know what will be the attractivity, what will be the attractions, but not only in terms of taste, in terms of look, etc. And in fact, if you can have under bracket a virtual panel, okay, who can give you the perception of your product before the physical productions and presentations. In terms of automations, by automation, we even heard the noise. Many digital, but digital is fully integrated in terms of automations, but artificial intelligence is slowly integrating also these dimensions. Okay, indicator of alarm and variation, transmissions out of plan, it's really common. Traceability, sales flow versus a reference period, etc. In terms of action, all the light can be managed by digital, and it's just triangulations. I need this level of luminosity, I have this external luminosity, I will have to adjust according and to generate such kind of light intensity. Billing, automatic collections for the money, accounting documentation, invoice and payroll in automatic way, self-ordering based on your usage, stock, and provision of productions. Online catalog, we talked about it before. So you have many things now based on data mining, analysis, generation of usage of a model, generation of hypotheses, and recommendations. Same thing in modeling. In modeling, in fact, it's exactly what I just said. You don't use only the available data to say, okay, that is the data, that is the rule of the model, so I have to do that. You can, the artificial intelligence can, I will say, create data, pre-draw the future, and suggest you some action or some reaction. Creativity, we mentioned it before. We don't need to spend too much time on it. So that was a little bit the academic part, just to say to you what is digital, what is artificial intelligence, where it's used, what is the motivation to go, what is the motivation to be reluctant in front of such kind of technology, and a kind of not exhaustive list of example in baking business and baking applications, but extractions of some of them. And just to give you a say, okay, we are not so far away. We always say we are extra conservative business as bakery and baking business. No, not so much, because in fact, as you can see here, many line is integrated today, with sometimes some people developing service to integrate them in our business or in your business. And I think we are just at the beginning. So I will introduce Bastien. Bastien is our expert in terms of digital tools, and he will show you some practical and operational example of our success and sometimes also non-success action with integration of digital and artificial intelligence. Thank you, Bastien.
Thank you very much, Etienne. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Hello, everyone. So, as explained Etienne, I will not only present success, but I will also present some projects that were not as good as we planned, but all of those were great learnings. I will talk about mobile application, of course, also about website, also about IoT. We try to present you a large perimeter of projects. The first one, and it's one of my favorites, it's a mobile application. It's a mobile application named Le Safre and Me. This application, we launched it almost 7 years ago, and it's dedicated to craft bakers. The purpose of this mobile application is to allow us at Le Safre to be directly in contact with our customers by sharing with them some features and information. For instance, the main feature in this application is a loyalty program. And so how does it work? It's very simple. We have on our packaging some QR codes, unique QR codes, and then the bakers, they can scan the QR codes with their mobile application. Thanks to those QR codes, they will gain some points, and they have then the possibility to order some gifts. It's a win-win because this way we can have some direct information about what products are scanned by which bakers, and the bakers on their side, they have the possibility to win some gifts. We have into the application also a lot of different features, some product catalogs, some elements about troubleshootings. We have also some gamification part. I will talk more about gamification later on. And just to share the advantage and cons of this solution, as I said, the first advantage is that we can talk directly with our bakers. We can send them information, notification. We can also receive some information regarding their comportment. The main con is that right now the application is available in more than 20 countries with something like 35,000 users. We are close to 40,000 users now. But as you can imagine, when you want to provide that kind of application and content to a lot of countries, you need to have some very dedicated content. You cannot provide exactly the same recipes or the same product catalog to Turkey than France or Germany or whatever. So for that kind of tool, it's very important to have the right organization, well adapted, in order to be sure that you will serve the right information, the right content to the right user. Then, I think we all know about digital catalog, but I just wanted to talk a little about this one because it's particularly interesting, and a fair like this one is a good example. What is interesting with a digital catalog is that you can create a catalog, a booklet of few pages, a digital one, with only the products that will have an interest for a very specific type segment of customer. And so, for instance, at a fair like this one, you can, with the right tool, just select some products and then create a dedicated catalog that you will have the possibility to give to your sales team in order to have the right tool when they will talk with an industrial baker, with the craft bakers, or the different segments. The main difficulties when you want to have that kind of system is about, once again, the organization of your information system. You have to be sure that you will not propose a product that is not available in some countries or for some customers. I don't like the sound, sorry. And so it's very important to have the right system of information in order to be sure to provide the right product to the right people. Sense of bread. What is sense of bread? As you maybe know, at Le Safre, in our baking center, we have a very interesting service, which is the sensory analysis. The principle is that we have experts that are able to make some analysis about the products, the flavor, the smell, the touch. And so we were thinking about a way to share some education material, some trainings to our internal network at Le Saf, but also for some of our customers. And so we decided to create a physical solution with a digital part. So the physical solution, it's those little bottle and this briefcase. In the little bottle, you have the aroma, a smell. That can be the smell of fermentation or sourdough or some fruits also. And then you have a mobile application. And so as you can see on the little bottle, you have not the name of the aroma, you just have a QR code. And so you need at first to use the mobile application to scan the little bottle. It will propose you some choices, so it will be a question. And then you will just smell the little bottle and choose the answer. And it will help us to discover sometimes some new aroma, and so to be more comfortable with sensory analysis. This one, the main challenge was not about the digital part because it was pretty simple and easy to handle. It was more about the physical part, the little bottle, because we had to find a solution that allow us to have the smell that will have a long duration, a long conservation. And as we also send this briefcase by mail, it was also important to be sure that at the end, the bottle will stay sealed. QR code. QR code exists for a long time now. We have now a good experience with QR code, especially because during COVID, we all use QR codes, especially at restaurants for having the cart or topic like that. And so what we did with QR code is about the traceability. So for different reasons, we decided to have QR codes on the packaging. It helped our bakers because when they receive the QR codes, they can directly find some information about the product. They can find back the certificates, for instance, or they can find information about, okay, this product come from that plant or that plant, and it was shipped this way. And on our side, it's very interesting because it helps us also to know where our products are sending. Because as we are working with distributors, sometimes we do not have information about the end user of our product. So thanks to the QR codes, we are able to trace the usage of product by the end users. What is complicated when you want to deal with QR code on packaging in order to manage traceability is that you need to have unique QR code. It means that from one packaging to another, it can be the same one. So as you can imagine, you need to have a strong database behind those QR codes, but you will also need to have the equipment in the plant in order to have the possibility to print and stick the QR codes directly on the packaging. It is what is very complicated when you will deal with QR code now for that kind of topic. Seems that it doesn't work. Okay. Connected container. Once again, this one is very interesting for traceability. We use connected container for liquid yeast, especially. And we decided to launch that kind of tool for two reasons. The first one was to provide new services to our customers. And thanks to this one, so it's a patented system, the customer, when they have their container in their storage, they have the possibility with an application to find some information regarding the temperature of the yeast, also the level of the yeast inside of the container, so they know if it's full or empty. And when they are waiting for their container, they can also have information about the location of the container. So it can be very interesting for the customer in order to prepare the delivery of it. And on our side at Le Saf, it's also very interesting because when we send the container, we need also to follow the information about the temperature in order to be sure that everything is safe. And also, we have to follow the location. So through this system, we have the possibility to find back all those information by ourselves using an application. What was difficult, once again, for this project was not especially the digital part, but more the physical part, all the part regarding the sensors. because we had to find the right solution in order to have the sensors inside the container. But we have also to deal with the environment of our customers. Sometimes the storage, they do not have a good network for data, and so we had to find some solutions, to be sure that at the end we will receive the information from the connected container. What is Master Baker? So this one clearly is not a success. And you can find it easily because if you are looking for Master Baker on App Store, you will not find it. We decided to kill this application. At the beginning, Master Baker was not an application, it was a board game, so like a Trivial Pursuit. And it is dedicated to baking products and baking activities, process, etc. And we were thinking, okay, we have a board game with more than hundreds of questions. It's a very interesting one. We know that our customers, they like it. So we were thinking, okay, how can we provide this to more people? And so we decided to launch a digital mobile application with all the content of the board game. But our error was that we decided to have a pretty flat system. So that means that when you create an account on this, on this application, you can play, and so you will have some questions from 10 to 20s. At the end, you will have a note, and you will know about your error, and so you will have some information. But that's it. And it's not enough for having people who will come back again and again on an application. So when we looked at the analysis, on the data, on the analytics for this application, we discovered that people, basically, they used it twice, and then they uninstalled it, just because they had the impression that they have already discovered all the questions and that they are at the end of the application. So what we learned from this thing is that gamification has a sense for our customers. They are waiting for that kind of tool, but we need to have at first more content, and especially dynamic content with new questions and new elements that we can add time to time. But what is also very important when you are talking about gamification is the challenge part. When you play to a game, you are wanting to compare to other people. And that's the thing we miss for this one. And I talked about gamification for user-friendly mobile application earlier. It's one of our targets for next year, is to provide some games inside the application, but for sure we will take into account all the learnings from this previous project. The last element I want to share with you, but you're all aware of it, but it's always interesting to talk about, is the marketplaces. We are all using marketplaces, especially the reason why we decide to go with marketplaces is that it's a good first step when you decide to enter in e-commerce and when you want to discover how it works for e-commerce. Because, as you maybe know, when you want to have an e-commerce platform by your own, it's a lot of investment, of time and of money. And so we decided at first to take a first step by using marketplaces. So this way, we just have to propose some products in some regions. And then it helps us to also discover what kind of customer will use then e-commerce when we will launch it by our own. And it was also a good opportunity to discover the products the customer are ready to buy via e-commerce. Because it's not always easy, especially when you are buying products by tons, to use an e-commerce platform. Sometimes you prefer to talk with a human. So we had to experiment and to discover it. Marketplaces was the right place. The con for sure is that when you use the marketplaces, data is not are not yours. They are owned by the marketplaces, and also one very big problem when you decide to use a marketplaces is that the features and the different things they will provide to customers, you have no choices. You have no possibility to choose the different features you will offer. And so it's sometimes a pretty big problem. That's it for the Le Safre experiment. I think we have maybe few minutes for questions, if you have some.